Common Man Cocktails. I am your host, Derek Schomer, and today I'm doing a reaction. I'm going to probably tag it as RANT because I can, and I think it'll draw in more viewers. That's what we do. So I had a question last week. It was last week, I don't remember. I did a tour of the set. I'll try and link it down below in the description of the different equipment we have, from our boom mics to our LED lights, my flip cam, which is tapped on to my Ustream cam, which is on my HD, they're both HD, but the HD, the newer HD 1080p camera that we use, the Sony, the mics, and all the other crap, the downstairs that we're developing for the set. And Rob asked a question. It was a good question. And he kind of said, well, it's not to be, well, let me just read it. He said, a lot put into that setup for like 3,000 viewers max. I'm not knocking anything, I just must be confused on where you guys make your money, or what you do that makes all the spending and filming worth it. That's the question. So, it was a long part response. It was like 3 or 4 part response. And then I started thinking about it, going, you know what? Everybody should understand this, because there's probably more people. When one person asks a question, there's probably tons of others asking themselves that same question. So, I came up with a response, I tried to organize it, and kind of just put it into pieces so that I could communicate all the points I wanted to make. So what I did first is I went through some marketing statistics, some understanding of digital media versus old media, new media, whatever, and I wanted to figure out what would make it worth it. You know, from a financial standpoint. So I had some bulleted list here. Overall digital ads growth, 17% in 2012. So that's $37.3 billion. That's just digital ads in general, right? Everything where you guys probably get annoyed by ads, and it's probably an ad up here, who knows. Display ads, banners, videos, rich media, sponsorship. I think also rich media includes those ads that move, or you can click on them and do funny, type in your email address. Those grew 22%, 15 billion in 2012. Not too bad. eMarket predicts that will outpace search by 2016. So we can expect the growth in those ads to continue and probably be a little more intellectual, probably be more focused, so that there's some payoff. Because advertising, just blanket carpet bombing advertising, doesn't really work. I think that's proven. Click rates aren't that high, and you don't get that much money out of them anyway. Mobile ads grew 80% in 2012. I kind of attribute that to the fact that mobile has grown very significantly. 7% of their ad spending for digital ads was in mobile, so not very much. I think that means with an 80% growth, those numbers will ramp up as they figure it out, right? They've got to figure out how to advertise. I don't have my phone here, but they have to figure out how to advertise that. Video sponsors grew 38.9% to $1.56 billion, which followed a 56% growth in 2011. To me, translation, 38% growth, that's over 25, so that's over a quarter of growth in a year. 1 year, right? And double that the year before that. So you can figure out if that you think that's going to slow down or speed up. Watch The Voice, where they have their hashtags for Twitter. Watch Deadliest Catch, which has their Twitter. They rebroadcast an episode already aired, and then they put the reaction from people in social media at the bottom of the screen. So do you think it's going to slow down or speed up? Let's see what else. So let's go the opposite direction. Last year, the president, or 2 years ago, whatever, whenever the president was elected, I think it was last year, that's a huge news year, right? So overall, the most news that could possibly come in is going to be during the election, at least in the United States, probably even elsewhere, as people kind of understand what's going on with the U.S. 1% growth in all 3 major networks. Daytime viewerships for regular shows in that, on those networks, 2%. Primetime grew 3%. CNN lost 4% in their primetime. Audio, NPR, major losses, but they gained 3 million downloads in their apps. So people are leaving the radio broadcast over the air, and they're starting to apply that to their iPods and their mobile devices and listening to it through apps. Magazines, decline in average of 16%. Time lost 27% of their overall ads, or whatever these statistics really focus down onto. It's a loss. Dude, I just got the latest Playboy magazine. I got them over the corner. People know. And the front page was an ad. You had to tear it off to get the actual page. What is that a reaction to? Why are they putting ads so close up in your face now compared to where they were before? I think it's a reaction of them trying to figure out the game and figure out where they fit in the game today. let's see, Nielsen ratings, 1.9% in viewerships on NBC, CBS, and ABC. 1.9% drop. Where are they going? Do we lose the public? Are the public just dying off? Is there no growth? Do they just forget to turn on their televisions? But now we're looking at all this growth in the new media, so we're scratching our head going, okay, so they must be going over there, I guess. I don't know. Ad pages for 6 major magazine publishers down 10%, twice the decline from 2011. They're all struggling basically to figure out how to monetize and how to make their money again. And I think they're figuring out that they can't really make their money again. So what are their reactions? They're either bombarding people with ads to try and bring up the cost because they used to make tons of money on this stuff. If people aren't subscribing to magazines or buying into this stuff, they're going all online, and online advertising is not as much. Where are they making their money? So that kind of comes back to me. Where am I making my money? So some of the things I had come up with, affiliate ads or affiliate links. If before I owned a store, awesomedrinks.com, I would put links to where people could buy OXO glasses or the OXO measuring cups. I don't have any of those either. These cherries, right? I would say, look, I'm using them on the show. I don't have them. Here's how to. People would ask me where to get them, so I would send them over to Amazon, and I'd get like 10 cents, which is when I started realizing maybe there's more money to be made in doing it myself and buying the store and saying, look, I'm already using this crap. Why am I not giving people an outlet to buy it? And it worked. So far, with Awesome Drinks, we've doubled or tripled the revenue that it made 2 years, or for the last few years actually. So we took it and we've done that with 1 month of ownership. How did I pull that off? Because the people who watch my show, those 3,000 people, are my fans. So they're listening to what I have to say, and I do it in a respectable way. I don't constantly bombard people over and over with go to my site, go to my site, go to my site. I hide them in there every now and then. I keep people knowing because a lot of people still don't know, and we always get new subscribers. So making sure people understand without really being an annoyance is there's a balance there. So out of those 3,000 people, imagine this. I turned that camera on, I sat you down right here. This might be Rob or anybody else who has this question, and I said, talk to that camera. Whatever you say, 3,000 people right now are going to see that, or potentially more. I did a video on why Jose Cuervo is garbage, and I think it's got 40 or 60,000 viewers. No clue that was going to happen, but it did. So I sit down and say, you have 3,000 or more people. We have at least 10 or 15 videos with 100,000 plus. It might be the one you're recording that minute. What are you going to say? What you say is going to be extremely important because as other people in both the Absence Society and a couple other groups of people who have watched the show and said, be careful what you say because people are listening, right? There you go. People are listening to what I have to say. Why? Because I don't steer them wrong. I'm not a douchebag, right? If I say, you guys should buy these cherries because they kick ass, I'm not saying it because I want to sell cherries. The margins on these are really low. But at the end of the day, they kick ass. So why would you not want to know? And then when I tell those people, out of those 3,000, people understand. They go to the store, they may see these, they may shop online, they may buy them from us. I don't care. At the end, they pick those up and they go, holy crap, you are right. Cool Swan, that stuff kicks ass. People went out, they bought Cool Swan, and they said, you are right. I've had one person say, I still prefer Bailey's. Everybody else likes Cool Swan. I liked Cool Swan. I liked Bailey's, but I like Cool Swan better. My opinion mattered to some people. And as, 2 years ago, where we had an average of 300 to 800 people or viewers, we now have a lot more. We have 3,000. Now, if I'm looking at these numbers here, I would say that we're in a perfect position as growth occurs to continue to ride that wave. It goes from nothing to something, and it has to start someplace, right? So I kind of look at myself as the Bret Hart of the WWF back in the day, before the WWF, when he was in Stampede Wrestling and he was working in the basement at his father's place and he was getting his ass handed to him. What Bret Hart did is he built from nothing to something. He grew as that industry grew. As Vince McMahon created the WWF and he started bringing these people in, he came in and he became a respectable wrestler. I think I have some stats, actually. Let me see if I can find them. He basically has been credited as the most inspirational of all time, one of the best wrestlers of all time, credited by the WWE, someplace he had left and came back. So they recognize what he did for the industry. dedication to his business. He worked his ass off, but he did it as respectable as possible. But he didn't jump in as a star. When I started watching and reading these books, when I first saw Bret Hart, this is an awesome book, by the way, if you want to read. You don't even have to be a wrestling fan to just be blown away by what they had to do in wrestling, in a $40 per match and $100, and how people would want to be on the card with Hogan because he was so big. And when you look back and you see these stars, you ask, where do they come from? Well, they came from nothing, right? They came from 200 views. People who have video shows out there right now that are trying to do what we're doing, and they send me messages, right? People are inspired by what we do. They spend time creating these videos with sometimes 10 views, sometimes 100 views. They get excited when they see 150 views, or when we point somebody to it and it goes up to 300 views, right? They're ecstatic because they're stuck in that place where they're like, how do I grow, right? And I was there, and I'm still there. I'm just 3,000 viewers higher than I was before. And so at the end of the day, again, you're doing it for a number of reasons. I'm at the beginning of a surge in video. My kids are downstairs, right? Video advertising, mobile advertising, people are going online. They're disconnecting their cable, their TiVo, they're forwarding through their shows, and they're going online to watch the rest. Either HBO Go, Showtime Mobile, or whatever it is, and then YouTube, Metacafe, 5minute.com, AOL if they ever get a video solution. All these different companies, OneLoad, they're all trying to vie for those views. And how are they going to get them? They're going to get them through content, long-form content, shows, not just a kid in the back of a seat on dental medication flipping out and getting 1 million views. That's really not going to be what makes a business because it's unpredictable. What they need are a consistent show with, not 3,000 max, that's our average, but with a series of viewers that are continuing to flock to content because it's good in quality, right? That's one reason. I can be there. If I'm going to be there at the beginning, I'll be there at the end. I'll be this guy wearing a freaking championship belt, right? So, secondly, it's fun. Why do I buy all this stuff, which all has been bought through advertising revenue, affiliation revenue, nothing much from AwesomeDrinks.com. I'm reinvesting in the business in that direction and doing the downstairs set. But everything besides my mic, which was a birthday gift, has been purchased through advertisement and donations from our viewers. So it's a hobby right now that makes money to fund itself. So I don't have to spend my own money to do it. And I have to spend my own time, which is about an hour and a half a week, plus commenting, which is that's as much time as I want to spend. And editing takes, Jennifer, probably 30 minutes max. So for 3 hours worth of work, you cover all the set. It's not too bad. And it's fun. And on top of it, it went from fun to something more meaningful the day you start getting emails from people in Afghanistan saying that they use your show as a form of entertainment, as inspiration, as something to do when they're not doing something that's dangerous. It's for people who send me mail saying, I had this really bad day, and it sucked. I didn't know what I was going to do. I went online, I started watching your show again, or your latest episode, and my day was complete. You and Doug were hilarious. I started laughing. Sign. That's good enough for me, right? So I can make some semblance of money, not enough to retire or whatnot, but I'm in a market that's growing. I'm having fun doing it, and people are entertained, and it's continuing to be impactful to both the industry and the viewers. So I don't know. To me, those. Let's see if I have any other. Oh, another one. Crowdsourcing. If I have a question, or if a brand has a question, and I ask it to my Facebook fans, I get tons of responses. Is that not valuable to a brand? So at the end of the day, 3,000 people, and you can say, "Hey, Mr. Advertiser, Deep Eddie Ruby Red, what would you pay me to have 3,000 people right this minute care about your brand?" I think it's more than the people who are spending money on Playboy magazine to be on the front-facing cover. What does that mean? Am I going to go out and buy a race car because it was on the front cover? Probably not. I'm not into race cars. Well, I am, but I don't have that type of money. But if you have a demographic that was just people who are looking to buy high-end sports automobiles, don't you think there would be a huge value in that? Playboy's not the place for that, I don't think. But the market today, that's what they think. They need to bombard. They need to spend to make money. Nobody yet, well, some people, smart people, realize now that you can actually spend a small subset of that money, anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000, on a single focused, narrow group of people, Be that 10 people, be that 20, be it 50, be it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, all people who care and will listen to what the person that has been telling them honest truth and respectful things about the industry, from cherries to OXO measuring cups. If I tell you, but I haven't really had this yet, but if I tell you this stuff kicks ass, I'll guarantee you I'm going to have at least 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people looking for that. That's power, and we're growing in that power. So this will be me someday. I will be that powerful. Do you want to argue about it? Because I don't think it's going to happen. That's going to be me. I am the excellence of execution in my own niche market. All right, guys. Talk to you later. We're teaching you how to drink.